I know we're gonna knock this.
It's gonna be good. This is gonna be great. Wait.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the imaginary cookies are going to attempt to do a podcast. Listener discretion is advised. May God have mercy on us all.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Hello, everybody.
Lord,
We are the Imaginary Cookies, and this is a podcast. We're gonna try.
here we are.
Hi, everybody.
This is a terrible idea. I thought.
Wow.
Hello, John. How are you tonight?
Good. How you doing, Scott?
Good, man. Joe's pouring himself a glass of white wine.
Riesling, delicious. Hello,
right.
everyone. Good
Ryan's
evening.
Here. How are you?
Here, I'm fighting
Okay.
tuberculosis
Pleasure
again.
seeing
No,
you.
Fighting tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis. Oh yes.
got tuberculosis. Give Grandma a kiss.
So anyway, yeah, we decided it'd be pretty fun to talk for you guys and tell some stories and let you in on shenanigans that we
Acquired.
have done, will do.
Gonna do again.
Yeah.
Always.
Basically, the premise is that every band has a story to tell, and so this is ours, and we'll later on have some probably some other bands because every band has a story to tell. At least there's always shenanigans in every band.
Of course.
Right.
We've been in multiple. Besides this,
Yes.
we're in multiple bands, and those bands have multiple stories. Like
And
this.
they tell two friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they tell two friends.
And so on, and so on.
remove.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Seriously.
God, not more of that. That should be an outside thing.
So yeah, like being in band. Being in band is. It's. I don't know how. It's the hardest thing to describe ever. It's the greatest thing. It's the worst thing. There's this weird chemistry. Definitely, we're like a lot of us. I know the four of us can, especially on stage, can have a whole discussion just with our eyes and facial expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Without even saying a word or
Yeah,
even
both of
mouthing
them.
words.
Especially when our herd comes in and you look at each other and go, we got to get up on a higher ground.
Oh, yep. Got to get the higher ground here. So,
Keep on.
what's tonight topic going to be? Are we just picking like a place?
Well, we can start anywhere. This is I guess you'd call this a pilot. This is
totally.
kind of to see how it goes.
This is when they decide they want to change characters.
This
Yeah.
is where they switch to the other channel. Like, where's these other podcasts?
You,
Like Ghost.
you're not Dick Sargent.
True
You're
crime.
Dick York now.
They're like, well, I gave it a shot for 10 minutes. What's on the other channel? I thought we were watching cartoons.
Do you like podcasts about true crime? Do you like podcasts about ghosts and paranormal activity?
Well, this is
Well, then
nothing
you're
like
not going to
that.
like any.
Well, this is not that podcast.
Change your fucking channel.
We're like the Golden
I
Girls.
like your Barry White voice.
This podcast is about guitars and nutsacks.
Thank you for being a friend.
Whose heads they've rocked and whose faces they've been draped across.
What if we just kind of go and like talk about one of our favorite moments we've had in the last 16 years? You know, wherever we came on. You know,
Yeah. All right, who goes first?
Okay, is it okay? Hold on. Are we just keeping it strictly imaginary cookies?
let's start cookies and then we can spread out from there.
Okay.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
That works. I
Well, okay, so let's take it back. If anybody likes the cookies, where did it start? And I would argue that it started with me and Joe.
yeah.
Because we were talking about this a little bit before you got here about the cheeseburger in Paradise Days. Right? You almost spit out your wine. Whoop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we started as a trio. It was you and me and Chris Eggert.
Yeah.
You were playing upright, weren't you?
I was playing upright bass. I didn't want to play guitar anymore because
Yeah.
this was after you and me were in ISO.
Yep.
And I thought I need something completely different. So I bought a stick bass, like a it wasn't a Chapman stick, but it was kind of like that.
It was like a Dean.
It was a
wasn't it?
Dean
Something.
pace bass.
Yeah.
And it was fretless. It was a real bitch to learn.
I thought you had it. Wait a minute.
It was on tripod. It was fretless.
I thought it was like one of those other generic companies, but it was like.
it was
actually-
definitely Dean. I remember.
Was it Dean?
It was a Dean.
I thought it was
pace.
like a Rogue or something like that.
Nope, it was a Dean
Okay.
pace bass.
All
That's
right.
what they used to call it.
Who had
And,
the Rogue? Did someone have a Rogue?
Gordon Oliver had Rogue. Because he used to mod them and take the frets out. And they
Yeah,
had
You
fretless.
you
And
owned
they
it
sounded
too.
am-
at one
they
point.
sounded
You had a
amazing.
I
Rogue.
actually
sounded
have a-
amazing.
yeah.
Okay, now it makes sense because you
I modded a
them out.
fretless. I have one here. I took a Fender and took the
remember
frets
that.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a cool sound, but all it really does is whoom, whoom. That's like the only sound you get out of it.
It was still a lot of fun. Those are.
It was like Steve Miller.
Oh, that's when we did like we
We used backing tracks.
Backing
too.
tracks.
and
Oh my
and we didn't have
God.
like a click, so sometimes we would fall off the track horribly.
Dude.
Remember that one barn party we played for Jake? It was a birthday party or something. And
Jake from State Farm.
yeah. He
100.
sounded ugly.
It was bad.
Well, it's because he's a guy.
There was like, man, when we had like those tracks in the monitors, and we could hear when we could hear those.
Yeah, like
tracks,
a good Sadie's night.
Yeah, because we weren't.
I know those were rare. I say good Sadie's night. Everybody went, "Pff, when the fuck was that?"
Because we weren't making that sweet cover money
When did
at
we get
that
ice
time
cream?
yet.
That was sweet cover.
Yeah, that sweet cover money and stuff. So like, we didn't have in-ear monitors or
No,
no.
God, we weren't high tech. We were
No,
low tech.
What is IEM?
We're talking about like
Type of music.
that was still the dawning of like, hey, I could almost watch a 3 megapixel video on my phone era. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
It was all blurry.
yeah, it was still looked like everything looked like Sasquatch.
Well, we were playing the tracks out of an iPod.
Yeah.
It was an iPod mini, so you couldn't even see the screen. You just had to know.
No,
jeez.
You just had to know because there was no screen. It wouldn't tell you what track.
I remember
you're on.
that. It was that stick.
It was a little stick. It looked like a flash drive.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And so like on gigs that when we did that and we could hear those tracks, it was great. It was,
Yeah, there were times where it was magic, and there was
was
times where it was
magic.
like, "Fuck, I hate
But,
this."
Yeah, I want to say like a ratio of probably like four to six being good shows. The other ones being like we'd get done and be like yeah, and instead of like ding dong da 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 da, like we'd be what? Oh man, remember at Peabody's we ended and there was like what 8 measures still going on.
We're like
oh we're way
Whoops.
off.
Sorry, the song's over.
Whoa.
Wait for the song to end on the track.
And then clap.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
we had a lot
Yeah.
of those.
Oh no.
No, but then you and me and Donley did that a couple of French donkey shows. One of them being at Bucknell University. Remember that?
The Grace. That was
We got one of the hosts at Cheeseburger was like, "Hey, you guys are great. You would do really great at my fraternity." We're like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "It's at Bucknell, and they all have money, so they'll pay you lots of money, and you'll sell lots of merch." We're like,
what was it? What everyone there has. What was it? Means or something like that? Did he? It was something like it was something.
he was trying to be coy, but they all had money.
Yeah. Oh,
And we're
right.
like, well, we like money. Let's go do that. So Joe and I and Donley rented a vehicle because none of our vehicles were trustworthy enough to make an 8-hour
Nissan
fucking drive.
Murano.
Yeah, it was. It was a Nissan Murano.
We had to take the spare tire out of
we
its
took the spare
compartment.
out.
Yeah, we like modded this. Like we took the spare tire out to put our gear and stuff, and because we used what Donley's PA, I think, right? Because we didn't.
Good question.
or the
I don't
P-
think
the
we
P-
had a PA yet.
We didn't have those big stupid JBLs at that time.
That was
yet.
later.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
all those times we
So
put
yeah,
those in the
it was
cruiser, yeah.
it was Donley's. I think that might have been the whole. That might have been because he had the PA. I don't know, and he knew how to play bass too. I think it was his PA.
Well, we had Donley because he was the talent.
Yeah.
we were tag-alongs.
Yeah.
We're
Like,
like,
we
we
knew-
we don't know how to do this. Let's get a guy.
That's right, because
He was our guy that knew all the songs,
We
and we
only
just
knew,
followed
right?
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because at that time
We were new.
Yeah.
You know, we were trying to write originals. And I guess this will come up in the podcast too. When an original band tries to go into covers and like they don't know that world yet,
Oh man,
we were like,
Yeah, I
we're not
remember
used to
that.
making money. So, I mean, we'd play a whole show, and if you got $20, you're like, cool, I got gas. This was a great night.
Yeah.
Well,
Free draft beer.
And then your buddy's in a cover band. He's like, well, I make $300 a night. And you're like, what?
What happened?
What?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
we've never made that.
I
at
want to do
Sadie's.
that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't make that at Sadie Renee's on a Sunday.
All I got was the dirty draft beer for free.
And a headache.
Listen, 50 Cent
Thanks,
Ice
Murph.
House was
But-
where it was.
Yeah.
So-
well, Merv was serving it up, and you could order what MGD or Labatt Blue or Budweiser, but it all tastes the same because all 3 taps went to the same keg,
Right.
and you'd get a headache no matter what.
It did not matter. It did not matter. It
No.
was. You're right.
And he was
It
just there for the
magic.
wet T-shirt show anyway. He didn't give a fuck about your band.
But yeah, so
Hey, buddy, how are you?
so I didn't.
I miss Merv.
Me too.
Hey, Val, good set tonight. When's the teddies coming out?
So that was cheeseburger time. So okay.
Do you still have Verb on?
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
So, hold on,
Sean,
change
I'll-
that. Change that.
I
I'll
like it.
take your effect.
No,
on it.
so weird.
let him be the only one that has it. Let him be the only one that has Verb.
I can change this in the mix down.
Yeah.
I know I
Oh,
can.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but so back. Okay, so we changed out the Murano.
Yeah, we took out the spare, which was a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah.
But
we didn't have we didn't have a bad time with that car. That car handled great.
it was
But-
like driving on a cloud. A Nissan
But-
Murano in 2005 or whatever. It was
and it just
fucking
came
great.
out. I remember that car just came out. I was like, "You got this?" I was like, "This is dope."
Yeah.
It
Well, we
treated
spent.
him to a nice ride.
So we drove all the way out to Bucknell University, which
Yep.
is like out by Gettysburg in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's
you're
only-
talking like 8 hours. Like you're heading to New Jersey.
It was literally, I think, like a half hour from Gettysburg or something like that.
Yeah, like you're so far into PA that you're
Yeah, you-
out of PA almost into Jersey. Like you're heading out really far east.
Man, wow.
And we got there, and it was a gated community. So we pulled up to what looked like, Glenmore?
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
you have to go to the guard station. You know Glenmore.
Oh, yeah.
So like we went to the guard station. We're like, what the fuck? And he's like, what are you doing? And we're like, we're a band. We were hired to play a frat party. He goes, what's your names? And we told him. He goes, yeah, you're on the list. We're like, we're on a list?
We're like,
That's
whoa,
fucking cool.
whoa.
So we got to drive through this, and these houses were beautiful, and it was all the frat houses and sorority houses. And we found our guys. And they were totally the lambda.
Yeah, because
of
we didn't
the
like
community.
mind you, we didn't like.
We were at
We
the
didn't know
dork
what to
house.
expect.
It was the dorks.
We didn't know what to expect, but yeah, when we got there, we're like, we saw like what it is instead of one, like, okay, at some colleges, like maybe like the SAE, whatever fraternity house is like, hey, Friday night they're throwing a party, so everyone's gonna be heading there, or there might be two houses throwing like some type of getting or whatever. What this college does, it has this like,
It was
the
like an open
community-
enrollment for the frat and sororities. So they were trying to get people.
Yeah,
to
so
play.
it was their, it was like their rush.
It was
Their rush
Pledge
type of thing,
weekend. Yeah.
pledge weekend, but it was also open to the community. Like I think the community could pay a certain amount of money, and they got that
got wristbands.
because at every house had like a bar where they were handing out
Natural
like,
light.
Yeah, natural. Of course, it was natural light.
No matter how fancy
By
the house
natural
was,
light.
the
but
only
if
thing
you
they
could
would
if you could
serve-
drink 100 natural lights, they would keep handing you.
Dude,
like,
that's literally like $20.
Yeah.
It's
When
so
they
cheap.
gave us
So cheap.
commemorative cups, we
Yeah.
had Bucknell
Yeah.
plastic cups
Yep.
to drink
Yes.
out of
Yep.
all night, which was
Yep. You had
pretty
either
rad.
had the wristband or like the cup or whatever.
Put
They're
your
like,
name
oh,
on
really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
And everyone there was really like, I would say nice.
They were very nice. They were
Nice.
very nice.
They were
and we
nice.
definitely played for the dorks house, and we
Oh,
rocked
totally,
it.
totally. We got the land of 100%. And so like we look around and there was this other house across from us, and of course that was like
The Jock Boys.
like yeah.
They were the
Mega, mega.
like
yeah. Oh my god. They were the Jock
like
Boys.
okay, so in front of our cars was like
the
maybe
wrestlers.
a VW Rabbit and like I don't know
That's a thing.
a
A VW rabbit.
yeah, or something. You know what? Like a V, like a Volt. There was a Volt.
Jack-
Like say
oh,
there was
Jackrabbit.
Yeah, say there was like a Volkswagen, and there was like I don't know. Let's say like an
Volkswagen
Explorer, and
You nailed it.
There was like maybe like a Lexus, but it was like Teddy's dad, like mom's. But
Oh,
now
yeah,
it's,
it was
you know,
on loan.
like a '93 Camry, something like that.
Kids were
Right?
20 years old. Dude.
That house
Yeah.
across the street had like Lambos in front of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
right.
they had a proper band on a flatbed waiting to play.
There was,
I
like-
mean, it looked like Motley Crue was
There-
getting ready
yes,
to fucking
there was
play over
light.
there.
There was like rigging with lights and
Yeah.
and shit. Like it was like oh, that house is ready to fucking like have a party.
We're on-
and we're like,
we're
where's
on
our
plywood.
We're like, where do you want us, guys? And there was literally there was like a hill and a piece of plywood and like some like
They're like, hey
logs.
boys, here's your spot.
yeah. We're like
two
oh.
orange extension cords.
and there
Exactly.
was and there was like picnic table or something like.
Well, they were roasting a pig. They were doing a pig roast.
And so we're like, okay, whatever. We're gonna make this work. And the way they had like all the houses were kind of set up in like a circle. So like
Yeah.
their backyards
Like a
all
cul-de-sac.
were like you could see all the houses from the backyard and stuff. So like where we were at, everyone could hear and see us, no problem. And so we started playing, and it was good. And then like nightfall started coming or so, and the next thing you know, there's like a shit ton of fucking kids, like all dancing, just like.
And we were making it up. We had no set list.
no
We were
set
making it
list.
up as we went. Like, Chris, what else do you know?
Yeah.
And shout me the chords.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
were
So it's like,
fucking
hey,
pulling
this
it
is-
out
Oh,
of
man.
our ass
Like,
the
hey,
whole time.
like, hey, this is an A, and then we're gonna go here to D
Yeah.
and B, and here's it's like, doom, 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 and we're like,
Oh yeah, we did California Love.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forgot about
Fun, yeah.
Oh man, and so it's getting like we're well into our set and everything, and we, so like the crowd's facing us, but we can see like Scott and I and Chris can see like what's going on over at the fancy house, and you can see these guys are like the lights are starting to go on there and stuff, and these guys
They tried to start their show.
yeah, they're like like strumming, like walking around, ding, 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 like fucking with their shit, like how you do as you're in a band,
Right.
and then they finally started to start their thing, and
I got it.
that I think maybe 3 or 4 people went over there and were like, hey, what's this? And they stopped. They're like, oh, okay, well, no one's coming over. We'll just wait until these guys are done. And we just kept going.
We kept going because we didn't want to lose them. And eventually we did take a break. And when we did, everybody left. And we're like, fuck.
Oh, I've been there. I understand that.
Like,
yeah.
we knew
the whole place dispersed and they went next door to this other house. But when we started back up, a lot of them came back.
Yeah, boom, yeah.
So we took a short break and we were like, we need to get back on. We're going to lose them.
But if I remember correctly, they tried to start up twice and couldn't do it.
No, they were sitting at the edge of the stage with their feet dangling
Yeah,
off
like-
the stage. And they were just so bored. And we were laughing like, look at these guys. Because they had a real stage. And we were making shit up. We're like,
We went in there
felt great.
half-assing it and killing it. It was funny.
And then afterwards, we went to all the different frat and sorority houses. And we drank all their beer.
Of course.
And we listened to their techno music, and we're like, okay. And then I remember we went back to the frat house we were staying at, and they showed us the common rooms we were allowed to sleep in. And they were like, make sure you take off your shoes, because if you don't, they'll draw a dick on your forehead in magic marker.
I was like,
And we're like, what?
"Whoa, these shoes are coming off right
And
now.
they're like, oh no, that's the thing. Because if you have your shoes are on and you're sleeping, you passed out like a bitch. And if you took your shoes off, you meant to go to bed. That's the difference. So if you slept in your clothes, then you fucked up.
You're a free game.
Yeah, you were free game.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're
It
like,
was
okay,
like-
cool, bet. Thanks
right.
for the heads up. So we all took our shoes off, whatever. I remember you and Chris stayed up way late. I was a
way
bitch.
late.
I went out fast. I was like, I can't do this.
Well, we were talking or whatever, and
I'm like
and then
24, 23, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm going to sleep.
we were talking.
You
just
young
kinda
kids, you can stay up as
Right.
late as you want.
No, we were talking in the common area like how we are now, and you fell out, and as you fell out, like Chris and I heard someone fucking, so we're like, who's fucking? So like, and so
I was asleep on the couch, like, leave me alone. Do not throw a dick on my face. I gotta go home
and
tomorrow.
So like, so Chris and so Donnelly and I all like Scoob and Shaggy were like fucking like sneaking through this fraternity house to find out like who's
Ruh-roh.
yeah, who was having the sex, and
Was it Thelma and Daphne?
and because what was funny about it was like every time like it would get loud, like and we're like oh this way, and
So you're going down.
yeah, so we would start heading that way, and then it would get quiet again. We're like,
This place was like a mansion. There were corridors. There were
jeez.
there were
Yeah,
wings
yeah,
of
yeah,
this
yeah,
house. So
yeah.
he's not. I mean, you could go down the hallway like a hotel wing and be like, is it 309 or 312 or 315?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
one is it?
like
Oh,
each
man.
place was like looked like the Waco like commune kind of setup. Like, yeah, like it had its
All
main
drinking
house,
building.
but then it had these things coming off it. So
What-
yeah,
Do you remember earlier in that night, we were like kind of partying with these people, and I remember asking some young dude, I was like, hey, so we knew that they were paying a lot to go to school there. Like we knew, you could tell it was Richie Rich. Like instantly you're like, fuck, this place is so nice. And I remember talking to some dude. He looked like a total meathead. He looked like a just. I was like, "What are you here for, man? Like, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in neurological science. I'm gonna create the cure for cancer." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I believed him. And he was drunk, but he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
Like, you could tell
guys
this
are
kid
rich
studied."
and you're brilliant."
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm only gonna do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
We're not the same.
because even though he was inebriated, he could still like the
Oh yeah, these kids
biochemicals
were.
and
Oh my god,
like,
these
yeah,
guys, they were future scientists, and we're
Jeez.
like,
Your
oh.
myocardial, like what's that thing Yoda has, the chlorine count or whatever? Like he threw that out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like you're, yeah. I was like,
He knew
whoa.
his shit.
Yeah, he knew.
Do you remember the bathrooms? I bring this up all the time to people. Do you remember the fucking bathrooms there? So I remember
No,
going.
but remind
I
me.
go in to take a piss in the common bathroom at the frat house.
Did you
And-
ask someone to guard the door for you?
No, we'll get to that.
Okay.
No, there's lots to
Right.
come. Lots to come in this story. This is only the beginning. So I go to this bathroom, and it's the same kind of stall situation you'd see at a concert at like a public bathroom, except at the urinals there is a beautiful leather-bound cushioned I don't know what to call it. It looked like, I mean, I'm giving it away. It's a headrest, but at the top, I know.
yes,
So
yes,
at eye level, where like at Paulino's, you'd see like booby pictures and stuff. There's like this wood framed, leather bound, soft, pliable, cushiony thing. And I'm looking at this thing peeing, and I'm going,
tuck and rolled is what he's looking for.
I'm going like, what the fuck is this thing that I'm staring at while I'm going to the bathroom? And then this drunk kid comes in and lays his head against it as he's peeing because he's so drunk he can't stand up. I'm like, oh, it's a headrest.
There it is.
Like they had a
awesome.
leather cushioned
Genius.
headrest because they already knew everyone who came in there was going to be 3 sheets.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and it takes a neurobiological scientist to think of that in advance. But so that was the early days. And then Chris ducked out kind of early because he had other shit to do and he lived in Cleveland and couldn't come down. So it became you and me doing the duo cookie shows at Cheeseburger for a long time.
One thing about Bucknell, there was because back then I had a thing for Asians, and there was like there was this.
We can say that.
Yeah.
I think we can say that.
Yeah, I can say that. It's fine. It's okay.
He's bringing it back.
But,
They were different times.
But there was a hot Asian, like kind of like in the front row dancing and everything, and I was like, damn. And she ended up like after that show, after we're done, where it came up or whatever, I was talking, and that like speaking of like the weird like jock, but like super on the way beyond the level.
They're
of
all
nerds.
smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody there was, like,
yeah.
really
She was
clever.
like, your drumming's cool and everything. I was like, oh wow. And I was like, what do you do here? And she's like, oh, I'm a biochemical engineer for blah 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 blah. Like yeah, she was like ready to like take water from the ocean and turn it into like usable like fuel or something like that. I was like,
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, everyone in here is out of my league.
You're like,
I'm just gonna enjoy.
all right, bet, we're going home
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah,
See ya,
yeah,
see
yeah.
ya.
Like
We're
I
out.
got nothing to offer for nobody here. Like,
I'm opening up a nuclear power plant.
yeah. Like,
do you
like-
remember the time that you and me played at Glenmore?
I do.
It was it's
Ohio
this
State something or other.
yeah. Well, because we
Yeah.
thought we were playing for I eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Shooter McGavin?
The
Shooter
dude-
McGavin.
Yeah.
So Shooter
No,
McGavin,
true story.
Shooter McGavin has a house in Glenmore, and John and I got booked
I
to
heard
do his
that.
Yeah,
party.
you know,
I heard that.
it's true
we got
story.
booked as a duo to play his personal party, and then he backed out at the last minute
Yep.
and didn't show up. But we still played the party, and they had an
Wait,
inflatable
that's
TV.
baller. Wait,
Yeah, it was
hold on,
like
hold
an-
on,
it was like
hold
an
on,
Ohio
hold on.
State
I don't mean to-
Michigan
I don't
game.
It was
mean
an
to
Ohio
interrupt.
State game.
But that's baller. How do you have a party, your party at your house, and then you don't even show up for it?
Because you have
Bruce
to be an
Wayne
actor.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey,
somebody
enjoy-
was throwing a party for him. I think.
enjoy my things.
Well, they moved it from his personal residence down to the Commons clubhouse.
Okay.
They still let us play, and they paid us, and they told us we weren't allowed to drink.
I was gonna say if that's his own house, it's like
yeah.
come to my
They
house.
let us in the guard station, and then a concierge, like some kind of liaison, came out and was like, "The band sits up there, and you're not allowed to partake in beverages or anything like that." And we're like, "Really? God,
Actually,
this
I
is
don't think
fucking
they
lame."
told us
I'm
that.
reading
I
my
thought the-
I
contract
think we went to go
here
get a
that-
drink, and then they told us not
I
to.
thought the
Maybe
girl
I'm
said,
wrong.
"You're not allowed to drink while you're playing," and I'm like, "What the fuck planet am I on? I
Yeah.
drink every time I play."
Right. Yeah.
That's the only way I play.
But
Can we get a shot? They're
but-
like, no, absolutely not.
I remember being at that gig with you and thinking, I don't relate to these people at all. Like, they're nice enough people, and you can always relate to somebody on a human level. There's something you have in common, but you're in a room with people and you're like, we're not the same. Like, I dig you. You're cool. I got nothing with you. But, like, God, we're on different walks of life.
It's like Thirst and Hal
So-
talking
so
again.
you get
Joe
his-
and I were like that in Bucknell. We're like, dude, you guys are going to rule the world. We are always going to be like dirty bum musicians. Like we're at the moment we're having fun together, but God, are we different people?
You guys are like-
tomorrow when this is over, we're different people. We're going to go back to different corners of this planet.
You're
you know?
applying to be in Skull and Bones, and later on, Scott and I are just going to be Skull and Bones. Like,
Can I ask you a question though, for real? Like, how many times has somebody, like, this has happened to me, like, I don't know, quite a few times lately. But like, you run into somebody that you knew when you were growing up or went to school with, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing now?" Like, "Oh, I do this, and I'm still playing." Like, you're still playing music,
right?
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
write it
All-
off
all
like,
the time.
And it's
you
like,
didn't
wow,
give that up by now.
Like, why are you still doing that? Because I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love doing
because
it.
it wasn't a fad, you weirdo.
No, it's like
That's who
at
I
the end
am.
Of the day, I love it. It's like embedded in you.
See, I get the opposite. I get people coming to me saying, "Hey, are you still playing music? You know, are you still doing that from high school?" Like, yeah, like I love it. It's my passion.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's like you said,
But
it's
that's
not
a nice.
fad.
That's
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, but I don't get a whole lot of the negative side. Everyone's just like, "Oh, you still play?" Like, yeah.
I get a lot. I get a lot of that.
Yeah.
like, oh, you're still trying to do that? Oh, isn't that nice?
all
And
the
you're
time.
like, it's a very condescending.
It is too. 'Cause
Like,
you're
oh, you
you're
didn't-
still doing that? Like,
yeah,
you
like-
didn't go to college?
I think, oh, you
think
didn't
what it-
grow up. It's like, fuck. Why
Like,
would
no,
I?
dude, I love it.
I think what
Why
that
would-
is, I was
why would I
thinking
grow
about
up?
because I was thinking about that a while back, and I came up with a solution to it. Is that it's a stereotype with it, and a stereotype is like people. Like you learn to play, you buy your guitar at the 5 and dime, right? And then you play it till your fingers bled, right?
boss was
And-
Mr. McGee.
And then you had this shitty job, but you still played that guitar every night, and you got really good at it. And then you formed this band, and all of a sudden, like lo and behold, there was Johnny Records at this gig at this time, and boom, now you guys like made it. So it seems like
I know Johnny
so
Records.
so there's this stereotypical thing about like people that are like in a band or whatever. There is like their whole point and the goal is to like become like this Johnny Rock star,
Right.
World tour. Everybody like
Because
doesn't
that's
matter
the
where-
validation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, you were good enough. You made the cut.
Well, we all had
and-
that
and-
thought in our mind at one point. Like,
and-
you wanted to.
Right.
I did when I was a kid.
And yeah, of course, because like
sure.
it's just there is like that embedded, like there is that embeddedness, but then it comes to a point to where you're like, why can't I just do this? Because this is what I really, really enjoy to do. Like I'm good at this.
It's like therapy. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't understand
yeah,
it.
like-
It's like,
Well, I think other people give up on that.
like, oh, I'm never going to make it, so might as well.
Some
and I'm going
people-
to sit here,
yeah,
work
they-
at this steel mill, and pull this
Yeah.
chain and smack this hammer a bunch of times and,
Right.
and make
It's like
wrenches.
it's like a macho thing. Like time to put away childish things. I better
Yeah.
become
Yeah,
an
and
adult. And
it's
it's like,
like-
why? Why? You're only on the planet for a little bit, man. Just do something you love. Like, you know,
yeah.
why waste your time? Why waste your time doing something that you don't love? But no, that's a very real thing.
yeah.
I get that. I still get that all the time.
Yeah, I
Oh,
get
you're
that.
still doing that thing? Oh, and it's like, or try doing a job interview when you have to tell them
Like, so what are your
what's
hobbies?
your resume like? Well, for the last 15 years, I've been a professional musician. They're like, so you're unemployed? It's like, no, I was employed really well. They're like,
How many pizza places did you work at getting paid under the table for?
well, now that's not fair because you've worked for pizza places. Actually, I did too for a little bit.
Yeah,
That's the oldest joke in the book. How do you get a drummer off your front porch?
Pay
You
for the pizza.
Pay for the pizza.
Yeah, it was funny when I went to go apply for the job. Oh my god!
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a long show. It's gonna be. Why do you
It's the wrong one.
Okay,
That's
we're
the
gonna
wrong
take a quick break. We'll be right back
Right now.
We're going to do a shot.
Actually, we can do that. You guys want to do a shot?
Yeah.
All right.
Was that the shot button?
Oh, is that the thing now?
That could be a shot button.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck! Where's the cups?
Well, see, I think I joined the band like 5 years into that.
So yeah, after
Yeah.
who's in? All of us?
I'm just gonna do this.
Okay, 3 of us.
I got ulcers.
Joe and I did the duo thing for a hot minute, and then it was like, we could branch this out. We could play some clubs and stuff. Let's get a bassist. And I said, hey, I know a guy. And we got Ryan, and
Boy, did you guys mess up?
Slapping the bass.
that worked. It was instant. It was like, oh, this is great.
Let's see,
And
yeah.
we were talking about earlier. We probably shouldn't name shame all the clubs that did us wrong, but we started playing places that weren't treating us very well, paying very, very little considering. But we were just coming up, so we were like, hey, we're getting money, and they were like, hey, we're getting a really cheap band. We did that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay.
It helped us actually. Those early years, like,
Oh yeah.
I guess I could say like Brew House and places like that. We learned what not to do. We learned what we were good at.
Oh, absolutely.
We learned like who was scary. Like, oh, there's one. We learned that if scary girls came to the stage, Ryan would hide up on the drum riser and leave Scott hanging.
It was.
Yes, I would.
It was definitely a trial.
That's your problem, not mine.
a trial by fire, and we made
they tried
some.
to steal Joe away.
We made some. We made some mistakes. We made like some corrections. Like like. Whew.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
Crown Apple.
Peach.
Oh, Crown Peach.
Crown Peach.
Oh, I've been wanting to try
Just
it.
peach.
Oh,
Today's your
excellent.
day. Today's your
So
day.
good.
All right. What'd you say? Taste my dick?
No, I said today's your day.
or the other, whichever.
This guy.
Whichever one you say. Nice, good. You got the button. Good. You got the right one. You got the right one, baby.
Lord.
Oh, Ray Charles would be rolling in his grave. Poor guy.
I didn't see that coming.
He sure didn't.
Oh, who's the guy that brought the "We Love You" sign to the Stevie Wonder concert?
Wait.
Who's that guy?
Stevie
You ever seen
Won-
that?
hey.
You ever seen that
Very
picture?
superstitious,
There's a picture of a guy holding a "We Love You" Stevie. At a
Stevie Wonder ain't blind.
I've seen the videos.
I saw the video too, where he catches the mic stand.
The dude that's besides the mic stand shit.
All right, what do you got?
Besides the mic stand shit, there's times where like, well, who was it? I think is it Jamie Foxx? There's someone that tells this other story where like he meets him in like a parking lot, and like Stevie Wonder like knew it was him before he even showed up.
Well, because his other senses are heightened. He's like
He's like Daredevil.
He's like Daredevil. Yeah.
But there was something else where like he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
He started
Like,
clicking.
It was like
He had an echo
It was-
location.
He's like a bat.
Anyways, in the end of it, I do believe like
like,
somehow
"Are you Jamie Foxx?"
Like Stevie gets in the car and like drives away, and the guy was like, "Wait a minute, like."
Dude, I think it was one of those neurosurgeons from Bucknell.
Wait, who
They
drove
cleared
away?
it.
Stevie was driving?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
No,
You
that's-
can't drive.
That's what that was
against the law.
That, that's what they were saying. Like that's what they were saying, and like I swear to God, there's another
Blind driving.
there's another podcast where I think it's Jamie Foxx or one of those guys is talking, and they like ran into Stevie Wonder, and he was like, "Oh hey," one like it weirded him out.
Man,
like,
traffic on the I-85 was really tough today.
and he said something about like he said there was something else about like he said something about. Something about his outfit, and I wasn't sure if it was the outfit he was wearing that day or it was another outfit, but like he was like, I like those colors would look good or whatever, and he was like, wait a minute, like Stevie's blind, how do you
Maybe
know
he
about
was fucking
colors?
with him.
But
Come on, that's
but
gotta be your joke if you're blind.
But yeah,
if you're
like
blind.
Steve was like, oh, well, he's like, good luck or whatever, and was like, and like got in the car, driver's side, and was like, and drove away, and then the dude was like, all right, and then was like, wait a minute, Stevie Wonder just got in the car and drove away, and like that's what the guy was like, wait, how did Stevie? I'm telling you, Stevie is not blind.
I don't know.
It's a conspiracy.
Okay, for
Really?
the record, Joe also thinks Bigfoot's a thing.
I do too.
Bigfoot is a fucking thing.
Okay, I'm just saying. You're.
I'm just saying.
I'm just
is
saying.
all
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Look,
Hey, everyone's entitled.
No,
to their
don't go
opinion.
down the rabbit hole.
Okay,
I'm just
okay,
saying
stick
on-
with
Okay,
we're
we'll
staying
leave it
with
at music.
Don't
We'll leave
go
it
down
at
the rabbit
music.
hole.
I'll do my own podcast.
Right.
I want to be on that
Yes.
one.
I'm gonna,
my own podcast.
I'm gonna set it up in the bathroom.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've been like watching like these Bigfoot documentaries and just like
This is your fault,
You know,
Scott.
We don't have enough.
I shouldn't have gone there.
We don't
So
have
for
enough
those of
memory.
you-
We don't have enough memory in that thing.
I have a big SD card. It's
For
got.
those of you-
You got a big ass what?
I got
got
a
a-
big D.
I got the big SD. I got a big SD on this card.
I went
It's,
to Scott House and he has a
50.
big D.
Confirmed.
Yep. Wait, what happened?
It's funny. I choked it.
It's funny.
It's funny. Can you just stop it?
You choke it.
I got to. I stopped it.
Man, that's great.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, bring it back. Music.
All right.
So I joined, and then
you joined, and then we
Yeah.
did that for a long time.
Yeah.
The three of us.
Wait, when you joined, were we still doing the Sadie shows, like Wednesday house band night or
no.
anything? Or, okay,
No.
But
No,
we
I
started doing the Broadway brew
By the
house
time-
shows.
yeah, by
I
the-
joined during cheeseburger stuff. I think.
Yeah. By the time Ryan came in, we were starting to get paying gigs, and we were starting to really kind of get it rolling. And then, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say we hit a wall or anything, but we were trying to branch out. We're trying to, do bigger things. And with John, you and I did Circa 92. We did some duo stuff. And then I got to play in your band Into the Flood for a couple of shows. And then when those guys weren't playing much, it was kind of like, dude, why don't you jump in
Yeah.
this other thing that I do, Imaginary Cookies,
Yeah, and, it was a
and
blast.
help me out? Because the cool thing was, or for me, as a trio, I was trying to do all the guitar work, so all the rhythm stuff, all the lead stuff, and sing lead, and that's a lot of hats to wear. So
Yeah.
it's like, man,
took a little weight off you.
it
Sure did. Just now it did.
you were supposed to leave that outside.
It came in like a
was that you?
Came in like a wrecking ball.
Was that you? That noise? That low growl? Sound like a semi truck hitting its heat brake from outside.
Came in like a butterball.
I wish we could rewind and listen to this.
We can do that.
I swear to God, that fucking stinks.
What's going on?
Man.
There's no escaping.
My
down here.
insides are dying. I can't help it. Anyways, so you guys played music. That's cool.
Yeah, so
Wait. Hold on. I feel like we're. Okay,
we
so there was
missing
the CDs we played. Okay, there's cheeseburger shit.
Is there a
I'm
gap?
trying to think of the first show I played with you guys. Like,
Was
I
it a
can't-
dandelion?
Were we a
but
three?
I'm trying to-
We were
I'm trying to
3-piece
remember
for a
that.
while.
Were we a
Yeah.
3-piece when we got hired for that wedding? And they wanted us. They wanted us to learn that. I'll be.
Were you there for that?
Yeah, you and me, because
Is that the one with the lyrics blew away?
and they had us play through that shitty ass.
You were there for
Yeah,
that?
I was there for that.
Hey guys, it's raining outside, but we're gonna need you to set up in the backyard.
Dude. And then
They wanted us to learn that song, and-
Hold on, I'll start at the top. So we get hired for a
we
wedding.
just thought it was like a song they wanted to
I
hear. We
forgot-
didn't know that it was
I
like the
for-
song they were walking down the wedding, and we were like a half hour. And 45
I'll be honest,
minutes. We were late for that.
I forgot we were a duo for that. I forgot we were a duo for that.
That's where I fell in love with Steely Dan. I cannot forget
we
that
used
day.
to listen to the greatest hits on the way on. That was our
Yeah,
road trip.
because you were like, I got the Steely Dan's greatest hits, and I was like, Steely Dan.
Steely Dan's greatest hits is the best road trip
Yeah,
CD.
I was like Steely
ever.
Dan. I was like, that shit's fucking. What do I say? Elevator music. And then,
but
and then you
it's
start
so
playing it. I was
good.
like,
it's so good when you're driving, though. You know.
that made me realize I.
Hey, 19.
Yeah, I was
no,
like,
we can't dance together.
I made fun of Steely Dan.
We can't dance.
Oh, see, I should have never brought up Steely Dan.
Take me along.
But that was
when
a pivotal
you fly
moment in my
on
life.
down.
Yeah.
Because I always thought
Scotch whiskey.
I know all those songs. I knew all those songs, but I
long.
never knew they were Steely Dan songs.
Oh,
Sure.
because they're so
So
good.
then when he started playing it, I was like, oh wait, I know this song. Wait,
'Cause
I know
they're
that
so
song.
good.
I know
'Cause
that
it's
song.
the greatest
I was
band
like,
ever.
oh wait a
Steely
minute.
Dan's fucking amazing.
I'm learning that in my life that I've always liked Steely Dan this whole time, but I've just been shitting on this time because I
And
never
that's-
knew that
okay,
was
guys.
Steely Dan.
It's the turnaround.
Yeah,
And that's when
yeah.
you go, oh, wait, this is one of the greatest.
And now
bands of
I
all time.
absolutely love fucking Steely Dan. It's
Yeah.
like one of my
so
faves.
so we play at Cheeseburger, and somebody goes, "Hey, would you play at our wedding?" And light bulb goes off for me. Oh, ding, ding, ding! Everybody's always told me weddings pay the most. Well, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
here
here
we
for
go.
the payday.
Yep.
Let's. Oh yeah, I'll play your wedding. What do you need? And they tell us, what they need and what the price is, and I said the price, and they go, ooh, and I said, well, we have to bring a lot of equipment, so that's why we charge so much. I was basically coming up with any reason to say why I was charging what I did, and they go, well, what if we supply the PA? Would you come down? And I went, fuck, yeah, okay. If you supply the sound equipment, I'll come down a little bit on the price. And they said, okay. And they said, we have a request. And I'm like, okay. And they said, would you learn I'll Be by Edwin McCain? And I said, I guess. And I kind of sort of learned the song the day before. We print MapQuest directions because there was no such thing as GPS. If you can take yourself way back in time, there's no such thing as GPS.
Nope.
And no such thing as like Google Maps. It didn't exist.
You can
yet.
look that shit up on your phone.
So
That-
we printed MapQuest directions to East Bumfuck Nowhere, which isn't on the map, but I kind of found it sorta on MapQuest. And we drive out there and we're running late, which is a band thing, we do that, and we get there late, and everyone's waiting on us. We pull into this place finally after getting
was not my
lost.
fault this time being late, by the way.
Well, okay. So we get there, and the entire wedding party's like, oh my God, the band's here. Thank God. Whatever. We're like, oh shit, okay. And they want us to set up immediately because the song they wanted me to learn is the wedding march.
Oh no.
Like
I know. And so now I'm with you.
like
right?
when
We're
we
in
pull,
the future now.
we pull in, we're going down like this, like I don't know, dirt slash.
It
kinda
was
like-
in the middle of nowhere.
It was heading to a park where they rented out like a shelter, but it was like an enclosed shelter, and it actually ends up being down by like, the Strasbourg area.
Maybe. I
Dover.
can't even remember
No,
where
it totally
we
is because
Okay.
I drive by all the time. I'm like, that's where we pull off. Like
Okay.
I remember.
But
what
back
this
then
way-
it seemed so foreign.
so foreign.
It
100%.
was not somewhere we frequented.
But now I'm
at
like,
all.
oh, there's that place.
Well, now you have a traumatic experience out of it.
Right.
So we pull in, we unload the car,
They're
and we're
all
like,
they're already in the seats, like
they're
ready,
waiting.
Like yeah,
like we were holding up the beginning of this wedding, and then we're like, oh fuck, this is bad. This is our first wedding ever, and we're like, okay, where's this PA system? And they show us a karaoke machine.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
yeah. We're like
A karaoke machine with like 2 inputs, and I'm like, well, Joe's got a drum set, and I've got to get a mic and a guitar. Okay, shit.
And he, mind you, he was a lot like nicer. Like
I used to be nice.
Or, well, like what? Not. I remember they showed that, and you're like, in your head, you're like, what the fuck? No, that's not going to work. But you're like, well, okay, I guess this will work. Like, well, yeah.
I was trying to be pliable.
Right.
You were being polite, and whatever. And I was like, that's not going to work. I was like, is there like that's not going to work at all? Like what we have and stuff
it's a
like
tough
that.
situation.
This isn't going to work here.
And we didn't think to
Yeah.
bring backup speakers
Right.
just in
Or-
case.
yeah,
which
yeah.
we should
I
have.
never agree to that because I've had
No,
well,
that-
we
so many
learned.
times.
That was
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
first
That's the
learning.
lesson
We learned
Yeah.
a lot. We learned a lot that time.
Hey,
So-
we'll provide the speaker.
Some-
It's like a Bluetooth.
Some guy was
That
like,
didn't exist back then.
Oh, yeah, right.
right.
So we set up.
Some dude, lo and behold, was like, I have a guitar amp in my trunk or some shit. And we're like, cool. And it ended up being one of those Fenders where like it had the two channels to where like we ran a vocal into one channel and the guitar in the other. Yeah, so you
right.
could like sing and play, but it's still like not. That's not by
ideal.
musician's choice.
Not
That's
ideal.
So we got it
that's
all
a
put together.
2 stars out of 10 would not recommend.
We get it all put together, and we're like, okay, let's run this horrible song for them because apparently that's the most important.
I didn't even
song.
have time to like set up my drum set. I think
Yeah.
I had like a kick drum and like a tambourine.
So
yeah.
We're outside. It's the middle of summer, and I set up a music stand because I would still put up printed lyrics for songs I didn't know that well. And I got my binder out, and I have this song by Edwin McCain, and I start strumming the chords, and all the lyrics are right in front of me, and the bride is walking down the aisle, and a gust of wind takes the fucking lyrics and puts it down the hill. Zoom, this lyrics, and I'm going, stand in your eyes, and then gust of wind. Because I don't know the words, and so I'm strumming this song, and I'm making up like scat syllables because I can't. Here comes the bride, and I'm going, oh Jesus Christ, I'm ruining this lady's day. I know.
Oh, yeah.
So we get through that, and
like because like not only did they just like blow, like it wasn't like they just like blew a little way.
it flew
like,
down
they
the fucking hill.
Yeah,
dude.
they turned into like kites and just like it was.
My
it was just,
lyrics
like,
all flew
those-
out of this book.
Those are gone.
and we're just
They're never
going.
coming back.
And I've never saw them again.
Bye.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still play that song at shows.
Do you really?
I know all the words
Yes.
now. I know all the words now.
Yes.
But at the time, I was like,
Yes.
"Oh God damn it! What's happened?" So we get through that song, and then they do their nuptials, whatever, and then we wait and we start playing. And like 20 minutes into us playing, everyone's gone. The old people, like the grandpas and grandmas and all that, have like said their goodbyes and left. We're playing for empty chairs and running around children, and we're like, dude.
Yeah,
we're not playing for anyone. We're still playing.
They played cornhole for I think a little bit of our set or whatever. And then once the cornhole got
and then
done,
it disappeared. Right. So I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, let's stop for a second. Now let me see what's going on. And I went to look for anybody, and I go around the corner. The bride, the groom, and all of their party are in red OSU sweatshirts. They've slipped out of their tuxes
Changed.
and
man.
beautiful dresses. They're wearing the crimson OSU stuff. They had wheeled out a TV like you'd have in grade school, like when it was movie day,
OHIO.
and they were watching the fucking game at the
and eating-
wedding
and eating wings.
at the wedding.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
I went up to the bride who was now in sweats, and I was like, "Hey, there's really nobody out there we're playing for." And I swear to God, she goes, "Oh shit, are you guys still here?" She goes, "Oh, hold on, let me get your check. You guys can go. Yeah, you're done." And we're like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
okay.
We'll be
Thanks for the
gone.
heads
Yeah,
up.
you
Appreciate
go ahead and
that.
cut that check, and we will get out of here."
Oh,
and that's
my
great.
goodness.
And we packed up. We're like, "Get the fuck out."
And then you're like, OH.
And then I'm like, "I'm never doing a wedding again."
Yeah, after that, we're
fuck
like,
this.
Like fuck weddings,
Dude.
Dude, they're
Yeah,
nightmares.
that was. Oh God, I forgot about that. That's a terrible.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
a terrible. And then I
The
swore.
only thing good out of that was Steely Dan.
I swore I'd never do another wedding. I did like 5 after that,
Uh-huh.
and every one of them had the same story. Like so much bad, all of them.
I think dealing with wedding planners might be the worst part of it. Like that whole like, we have this 4 foot by 4 foot area. Like your band should be like, this is for
Yeah, you guys are
for your
good,
wedding.
right?
Like you'll fit there, right? I'm like,
Well,
any,
and then
any
here-
wedding, it doesn't matter what it is.
Well, you and me
ever-
have done a
you
couple weddings,
Oh
too.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
done it. You've
I've
done
done
a
a
shit
ton.
ton.
You've done a lot.
But like, have you ever done one for like a friend?
It's the
right?
worst.
It's the worst because they.
I won't say who, but I've been
Oh my
roped into a
gosh.
couple.
Look,
yeah.
I was just recently.
Yeah.
I brought that up. Like, what was that? Like a month ago, like in the group chat, where I was like, "Hey, a friend of mine is getting married, and once as asked or whatever." And like,
I might have been the first one that says like, dude, no,
yeah, you're like,
can we
I
not
like,
though?
yeah, you're
Can we
like,
please
yeah,
not though?
and
like I
that's-
love you, but no,
always-
please
until
no.
you do
in my
it,
and like
yeah.
that's the thing. That's the part where I need someone else to step up there because like in my head, I'm like, no, they're terrible. We no, absolutely not. Find some other sucker.
I remember when you said that, I was like, I don't want to be a bad guy, but please no.
I don't want to do it
Please
either,
no.
and I haven't. And like, this will be coming out. But like,
I've had good friends.
I hope
good
we
friends,
d-
and almost family members go, "Hey, would you play at our wedding?" And it's like, "Oh, please don't
Right.
make me
like,
do this. I
like on
hate
the honest
this."
side, like I
Please don't
hope
make me do this.
I hope that all gets like that just gets forgotten about.
Sure.
And all, yeah, because I really don't want to either. Like,
No,
I don't.
it's just
'Cause
terrible.
It's not all
disastrous.
it's cracked up
No.
to be.
No.
Well, so like even
Your guys, that thing you do.
Well, say every Saturday when I'm in Cleveland, it's a wedding. Everything I do is a wedding.
Like yeah,
A different
that
venue.
thing you're running or
Yeah.
like those guys got it like it's not us. It's not.
It's a 9-piece band. I mean, 3 horns, and
now that's a proper professional.
And it's rigged
so we
as
weren't,
a
though. We
wedding
weren't
band,
ready
like,
for
Right,
it.
for sure.
oh yeah, there's contracts and there's like
Oh my
I
God,
need this
though.
much space, I need this much money, or we're not doing it. There's no
So here's
no
the,
around it.
Let's
here's
let
the
chicks
last
fuck.
the
Yeah.
last wedding I did that broke the camel's back is I was playing at a place and a young couple, very very young, they watched my set and they talked to me afterwards and they said, "Dude, we love what you do." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, cool. Hey, we're getting married in the fall.
Dum,
Would,
dum, dum.
would you do our wedding?" And I was like, "I don't do weddings. I'm sorry." They're like, "Oh, why?" And I'm like, "I've had so many bad experiences you wouldn't believe." And they're like, "Oh, well, we're not like that. We're cool. We're young, and we like what you do." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Here's like a million stipulations I have. Like, I'm only going to do the songs that I know how to do. Like, you've heard my show. You're asking me. So you've already vetted me that you like
Right.
what I do. Right. If you trust me for that, know that I will do my thing.
Yeah.
If that's cool. Like you're saying, hey, we like you, what you do. Okay, cool. I don't have the time to learn a bunch of special requests. Like I'm a rock guy. If you go, hey, we need you to learn 20 country songs, that's not my thing. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry. And they're like, no, we're cool. Everything you played was great tonight. Okay, that's fine. And I laid out all these other things. Like, here's everywhere I've went wrong with weddings. So we said yes to do their wedding. And I thought, well, maybe this will be the one that changes my mind.
And then
I know. So that morning we had to go to Pittsburgh and do a Comic-Con. So we went to Pittsburgh first thing in the morning. We did a Comic-Con, and then we had to leave there by whatever o'clock to get to God knows where and play this wedding because we said yes. We show up, and it's a fucking greenhouse. They got married at one of those like farming like seed and whatever places like
like green farms.
yeah, it was. They got married in a greenhouse.
Oh no!
In the middle of July. So we show up, and
like
I've got my
feet in
hair
manure.
slicked back with like dippity doo, and like I'm melting into my eyes.
Is that when you're going through your
Yeah, I had my slick back shit going on. Yeah, and all this grease is melting into my eyes. And we're there 2 hours early, like already hating this decision. And it's the bride and groom are always gone at a wedding. So the people that hired you are always missing in action when you have questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they either put their
course.
friends in charge or they put no one in charge.
Right.
And the
So
friends in
then-
charge still don't know what the fuck's
And
going
then
on.
because
Yeah.
they don't
Right,
know
right.
the
Yeah.
intentions of the bride and groom.
Like, I
And it's
don't know,
usually the
man,
bride.
I'm just-
And that's fair. But like you don't know who to ask anything because no one knows nothing because the woman in charge is busy and the guy in charge is busy. Whatever, they're doing their thing. So we set up and we're waiting, and they go, "Oh, you're going to play something when they walk down the aisle, right?" I'm like, "Fuck, I should have saw that coming. I'll unplug. I'll take a speaker over. I'll play a couple things while they walk down." Boom, we did that. Come back, we're waiting. They decided to have a food truck as their caterer, which. If you're listening, never, ever, ever have a food truck as your caterer at the wedding. Because here's the problem. There's 3 people in the truck, and you have 150 people at your wedding. They cannot make the food fast enough for your people.
Right.
So
Physically
the wait
impossible.
time
Disaster.
for the food was 2.5 hours. So for 2.5 hours,
Do we have a horn thing where it's like?
we want.
No,
No, I have that. I just have
like a
that. Yeah. No, I need to get like the Pac-Man thing dying. So like,
Yeah.
so we're waiting to play, and they didn't have any. There's no DJ. There's no nothing. It's just us. So I go, I've already seen this coming. I got a playlist on Spotify of like dinner music. So I'm playing like an acoustic softy playlist.
So you played the best of Steely Dan.
I should have. I should have, because then I would have been entertained. And
Wow,
that's half the-
gamblers.
yeah.
And
Ramblers.
Wamblers.
That's all in the past. So,
Gotta have that lisp.
dude, you have to.
You have to.
You
It's the
have to.
best.
So, I remember people coming up to us like, "Can you play anything more up tempo?" Like,
Right.
blah 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 blah. I'm like, "No," because I'm not
Yeah.
a DJ. Like my group is going to play dance shit, but we can't do that yet until it's officially.
Wait,
like,
what? I forgot. What group was this?
This was Transmitter.
Okay.
We were playing somewhere around here, and I'm not kidding. 2.5 hours pass, and I'm just playing a Spotify playlist, waiting for people to get served at a food truck. And it was just a nightmare. Middle of July, hot as can be, literally in a greenhouse, sweating to death. And that's where the table and chairs were.
So wait, when did they? Okay, so there was this line for the food or whatever. When did they want you guys to play? Like after dinner?
Yeah, we were like the dancing part.
That's
like we
usually how
were
it
like
goes
the
down.
reception
Oh,
part.
so
but
you
they
could have
hadn't
been like,
got through
like,
the
well,
cocktail and the food hour because it turned into
about that
2.5.
time.
I
Just-
know.
and just play while
Well,
they're-
that's the thing. You're not on billable hours, so I can't say, "Oh, my price just went up," because now I've been here 8 hours and I haven't even played a note yet.
Right.
You know, and that's the worst part because you already said what your price was, but there's no hours. You know, like a bar, you're locked in for 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
So you know you can get there a little bit before, stay a little late, but you know what the bulk of your time is.
So-
this is like, it should be like a taxi, like meters running, dude.
Right.
So
Oh.
what do you need me for?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Contract.
And-
So any
contract.
bands
was
that are
just
listening,
so
like, this is
bad.
really
It was
good.
so
Like,
bad. And I
info
thought
here
these
to,
kids
like-
were going to be all right, and I was like, jokes on me. Jokes on me. I should just never,
Never
do
do
weddings.
weddings.
This is just so terrible.
Oh, I've lost friendships.
And they were
over-
nice
over
people,
Weddings.
but-
It's
Oh, wow.
crazy. Yeah, crazy. We did a wedding. Me and my buddy Ryan did a wedding years ago at the McKinley Grand for a friend of ours. Right.
And what was
So,
their first and last name? No, I'm just kidding. Please don't do that.
Stephen
What's your social security
Deppenshire.
No.
No.
Oh God. No.
I made that up.
Okay, good,
I don't
good,
even know who Stephen
Deppenshire.
Deppenshire is. I don't
Edit.
even know where that came from.
If your name is Stephen Eppenshire, please call in.
Yeah.
330-555.
5555. No, but no, we did the whole wedding. Like we played like cocktail hour. Like we did like acoustic music for like an hour.
I think I was at this wedding before I knew John. To be honest with you, I think I remember this. Go ahead.
No,
Continue.
Really?
Continue.
It was at the McKinley,
McKinley Grand.
it was
Yeah, continue. Go ahead. Go ahead.
McKinley Grand.
Go
so,
ahead. Go ahead.
So we did the wedding. Like we did their cocktail hour. We did like me and Ryan. We played like acoustic for like an hour. We DJ'd. We played like they wanted like old Frank Sinatra music for dinner, right?
I got the world on a
Oh,
string.
hey, fly me to the moon. But yeah, we did that, and then the band played like the reception part. But they had like whenever they were coming in, like after dinner, like they were coming through, and they were like making their announcements, doing their dances, like they did everything kind of backwards. But so we had songs like mixed up, right? So like the bride, like the father, and the bride, the dances and everything. Like, so we had 2 songs mixed up. So this chick who was a friend of ours, like we've known her forever, so she took us to court, like small claims court. Like she wanted, she served us with papers because we realized really quickly that we had, screwed the song up, right? So it was our bad, but we switched gears, made it right, played the correct song. So they served us papers and was trying. It was a small claims
Like
court.
you've been served type
Yeah.
of shit?
No. Well. She kept. Before the papers happened, she was calling us, and she was like, "I really think you guys should reimburse us for the full amount." So I'm
Wow.
like, and I was just like, and I was like, we made a mistake.
Was this contracted out and stuff? Did you have this all like?
John's pretty good with that.
It was actually because
John's
like
really good with that.
anytime we've done a wedding, like I firmly, just from the horror
Totally.
stories, like the hearing you guys.
So this is
talk,
the
but-
catch-22 of
But
like.
we've always used the contract. Okay, we load
We
in
need
at this
prenup. We
time.
need prenup.
How
Yeah.
do you want us to dress at your event,
18
and how
years.
do you want us to do whatever. So like we met with them multiple times, like before the event. It was a small claims subpoena that we got in the mail. So it was funny because like leading up to, like, she wanted like the full amount back. So I'm like, like I already
Did I
paid
do
everyone
nothing?
out.
Yeah, did I do nothing for you?
Long story short,
wait,
they
can I-
ended
can I-
up dropping it, and nothing happened.
I was gonna a- I was
but,
gonna-
but I told her.
Can I ask how much the amount was?
What's that?
Can I ask how much the amount was?
Yeah, I know. I remember exactly because it was $1,600.
So she probably spent
So-
more money trying to take you to like small claims.
Well, small claims court. It's not that much money. You could file a small claims court for like under $150. I don't believe it's that much money, but you can file a small claim. It has to be like there's certain.
I want to say it's higher than that. I want to say it's like
I mean,
like
this was also like 15 years
4 or
ago.
8 or so.
This would have been like 2008, 2009 ish, around there.
I still think in the long run it was going to cost her way more money to take you.
Thing,
than,
like it, yeah.
The whole thing, though, it was a
she
nightmare.
would have to hire an attorney. There's not like you could get like a public defender in that shit, but like she would actually have to hire like an attorney, pay a retaining fee like up front for that guy.
Well, now
Not
small
necessarily.
claims
No,
court, you
not
just walk in and
necessarily.
talk to a magistrate.
No,
What?
Yeah, no.
I don't really know. I don't
Small
know.
small claims
Like,
court is like a certain amount of money,
Like Judge Judy. Like you
Yeah.
just walk in and go, "Ma'am, here's what
Oh, no
happened."
shit? Really?
Yeah.
Like wow.
And
No,
then
it
she
wa-
and
it
then she
wasn't-
listens to the thing and goes, "Okay, I've heard all your bullshit. I find in favor of the whoever." Did you almost fall off your stool?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it? It's not like breaking, is it? Like it's
No,
good?
no.
Like
I for some reason in my mind I thought there was a back to this, and I was gonna
Oh,
lean,
no,
lean
no, no,
back,
no.
like,
Oh,
lean
no,
back
no,
to, like,
don't do that.
And then I was like, oh, there isn't like that's why I was like,
You're gonna get blood on my stone floor.
yeah, seriously.
Don't do that.
Okay.
No, that was a true story, though. I swear
Yeah.
to God.
Oh,
That's
so
nuts,
but
man.
but she
That
ended
sucks.
up dropping it. Like we met with them like a few times after, but I remember her
Over
just like
a song.
But it was the bride. Like I'm not saying like you hear like everyone's like bridezilla, but I've dealt with like grooms that were just straight assholes too. That like hey, why play this song? I'm like, well, I don't know that song.
Yeah.
It's
Huh,
like
you play 80s, huh?
you know,
I like 80s.
how many
Play 80s.
times have you guys heard like just because you can play an instrument,
Why don't
they assume
why aren't you
that
playing
that
80s?
You can play
Goes right into
every-
Waverly, doesn't it?
Right.
Goes right into
they
Waverly.
assume that
So
you know
we're almost
every
out.
song.
yeah,
known
yeah.
to man.
We're getting there.
That's a whole nother episode right there.
I know.
Like
at
I had
least.
somebody request a guy the other night, and I can't even tell you what his name was, but I'm like, I'd love to play that song for you, but I'm like, but I've never even heard of the guy nor the song you're requesting.
My favorite thing
Like,
is,
so he's just like, well, it's really easy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay. And I'm like, but I still have never heard the song.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the guy sounds like. Is he a
Oh, this
really
day
deep
and
voice?
this
Is he
day and
really
age
high?
with like how
It's funny how people just assume that just because you play an instrument, you can play
That you know
any
all the
song.
songs?
Yeah,
Like all
Yeah,
of them?
Oh yeah, and that's
Yeah.
how weddings are. And it's like there's
it sucks.
it's
My favorite thing is, hey, do you know such and such by such and such? You're like, no, I'm sorry. They're like, yeah, you do. You ever get that?
oh yeah, you do.
Hey, do you know
it's only-
blah blah blah? I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, you do.
all the time.
And I'm like, no, I'm not
the time.
kidding. I would play it for you. That's
never
why
even heard it.
I got hired to make you happy. I would play your fucking song.
You know how to play this, but you know how to play that. Come on.
All right,
Like,
well-
it's just so
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So, John, one time we went to Waverly, Ohio.
Waverly,
Is this how we're gonna end the night?
We're gonna have to end on the Waverly story for the
Waverly
first
story?
episode.
Waverly Place.
So, we played in Columbus. Joe, was it just you and me playing at Cheeseburger? Like
Yeah.
Hilliard, maybe?
Yep.
And we played.
That's
We-
right. We did play Cheeseburger.
Okay,
Hilliard. I
we
forgot
played
were-
Hilliard and Polaris, and so it was Cemetery Drive. It was such a creepy road name for a mild.
Oh, this brings up so many questions now.
So-
how we got the hammies?
So we played down there a bunch, and somebody emailed me randomly, who I found out was Bobby Huffman from Trailer Park Ninjas using an assumed name. That's a whole nother story. But some guy,
We got.
it was, first of all, it was Bobby, who I fucking know, but he emails me like, hey, this is whatever from such and such entertainment. And I'm like, I don't know this person. And he goes, saw your group, and I'd like to offer you a gig. It's about 2
That
hours.
son of a
He goes, it's about 2 hours away from you, and it pays this, and you're going to love it. And I went, okay, I'd drive 2 hours for that money, whatever it was. And I told you guys, and we said, great, bet, let's do it. And
all I want to do is kick Bobby in the nuts right now.
We
Like-
booked it. We booked it months in advance. No big deal.
Son of
Well,
a
you come up to the
bitch.
day, right? It goes in your calendar. You forget about it. You come up to the weekend and go, oh yeah, we got to do that show finally this Friday night, whatever.
Yeah.
And we look up, we're like, Waverly, never heard of it. And we MapQuest because again, it was before GPS. So on the day we MapQuest Waverly, Ohio, it's 4.5 fucking hours away from
We're
where
like,
we
whoa,
live.
whoa, this
And-
1 hour
and I'm
trip
like-
is like
I'm like-
became
I'm
like,
like,
Where's
dude,
that at? Is it like south?
okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it's like
so-
going to Dayton.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like way far away.
Like way
you know,
south.
Okay,
West.
okay. You know, in Columbus, at the bottom of Columbus is Grove. What do they call it? Grove City, I think they call that, right?
Yeah,
right?
close to it.
Because
Yeah.
we always, Grove. We call it Grove. Grove City. Okay,
Grove Tucky?
yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's true. There's
Because
water
it-
at the bottom
because
of the
it's
ocean.
close to. Remove it. Because it's close to like the Kentucky side,
The
there,
equator.
Cincinnati and
It's
all
close
that.
to the equator.
But anyways,
it's close to the prime meridian.
Oh, they call
The
it.
prime rib.
Okay, they call it that down in Columbus.
That's why they called it. They call it.
They call it that in Columbus because
the old and tangy.
how there's Canton.
Sweet and spicy.
Old and tangy. We lost Joe. Joe fell off his stool. Oh, he hit his head on the rocks. What do you do? Where'd you go?
I just need some slack. That's all.
Cut him some slack.
I was
Cut him some
trying to
fucking
adjust this
slack. What are you
thing.
doing?
Anyways, okay.
doing? We're
So
running along.
okay.
Tell
It's
the
just like
story.
how like in Canton they're like we're from Canton, and then other people are like from Massillon, right? You know, like So like,
Ouch. We're gonna catch hell for that. Okay,
right.
go ahead.
So yeah, right. So we're from
We love the Tigers.
we're from Columbus, but they're from Grove, Tucky. Like they're
Okay.
from like there's just
I got you.
Yeah,
Us and them.
yeah, right. Whatever. This thing sucks. Okay,
Well, you brought it.
I did.
God.
Oh man, look at it drooping.
Ooh,
It's got whiskey
It's a
dick.
weight ratio, is what's going on with it.
Your
I
mic
just gotta-
stand has whiskey dick.
There we go.
There you go.
She's drooping.
Story of my life.
All right.
Anyways, so where was I going with this?
Hurry up, we're talking
Grove
about
Tucky.
Waverly.
Grove, Tucky.
We're going
Oh.
to Waverly.
So Waverly is like another like hour south of Grove City.
It's down there. So turns
So
out
like you know that nipple part of Ohio, like when you look at
Yes.
Ohio, the nipple part.
You know,
like,
the nipple
If you
part.
shoot like a half hour up from that nipple part, that's where it is.
Oh, way up there.
Down
There.
there.
The nipple part.
the down.
Yeah.
Bottom nipple part.
And
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
well, an upside down nipple's an udder. So it's down like in the udder part. It's utterly in Waverly.
It sure was.
It sure would.
I was going
Forrest.
way in the other direction.
Where are you going? Oh, you pointing to his tattoo. Joe's got a tattoo of Ohio. He's pointing to the part of
got it.
Ohio
So see the
that
nipple?
Waverly.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay,
But-
so it's kind of down there.
Bink.
That's nice.
Yep.
It was far, dude. It was far.
It's all
That's
the way at the
crazy.
bottom of the tattoo. It's down there. Mm-hmm. Well, so it turned out that the guy who emailed me, when he said, I saw you play, this gig's 2 hours from you, he thought we lived in Columbus because he saw us play in Columbus. So it was
Yeah.
4.5 hours from us because we were already driving to
What's
Columbus.
in the box?
Right.
Right. So we MapQuest this thing. We're like, oh my God, this is going to be a long day. And what the fuck do you have? What are those?
It's continue your story. We're listening.
All right. So we drive all the way to Waverly, Ohio, and we play at this little club. I forget what the name is, but they hated us. It was a bunch of hillbillies, and I
Dude,
mean
it
bad
was
hillbillies.
Picture at the Broadway Brew House, New Philly, T County.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Represent.
But
So much worse. But so much worse.
like
Dude, it was you, me, Joe, and my dad.
But way
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
way more Cajun.
Dude.
yeah.
So, like,
way more. Yeah.
If there were 20
Lot less
people,
rough.
if there were 20 people in this room, there wasn't a whole set of teeth,
Oh,
right?
oof.
Like it was rough.
It was
So
a little methy.
did. So we
I don't
started-
know, was
we-
meth even a thing? Well, meth's always been a thing, but
we
like,
played it. We started our.
But-
we,
but
A little methy.
cracky.
A little crack-a-lackin'.
We're derailing. Come back. Come
Sorry.
back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
we did our first set and we went outside to take a break, and
a
we
lot
got
of alcohol and Hank Williams.
we got comments like, "Play some Metallica," and we're like, "We don't know any." They're like, "You mean to tell me you know Green Day, but you don't know Metallica?" And we're like, "What the fuck radio station do you have that plays those two back to
So
back?"
you mean to tell me you play Nirvana but cannot play Megadeth?
Yeah. The way they were coming at us, John-
Dude, and it was like we had just got done playing like
Hello,
the
me.
yeah we had played like the Cranberries.
Here's
and,
the
like, Sheryl
Modanes,
Crow,
or-
Right.
and like
Yeah.
and they're like play Slayer, and we're like we like that, but you got the wrong band. We're called Imaginary Cookies. Like you should already know that this is like a really fun fuck off band. Like this
Yikes.
isn't the whatever you're after
Yeah.
tonight. And goddamn, did we had a bad time with the crowd, but we had a good time with ourselves. I mean, we had fun that night, but it not just because we were laughing how terrible that place
What the
was.
hell do you have
It's so
over there,
bad that they don't have locks on their doors in the bathroom.
So the
Joe Middleton.
So the bathrooms have no
Hey,
doors on the
Jesus.
stalls, and the doors to go in the bathrooms don't
Wow.
shut. And Ryan goes to take a shit in the. Can we tell
Tell
the story?
me.
Can we?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
public
yeah,
knowledge?
we're-
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we're-
I didn't know where the limits were.
This is a closer. We're dropping
So
this.
okay, all right. So Ryan at some point's like, I got to drop a deuce, cover me.
Yeah,
and he
he's
tells
like,
he
the
tells
bathroom
Joe,
doesn't lock. Will you watch this for me? I'm like, yeah, bro,
No,
I got
there's-
you.
There's literally no door on the stall, and I don't know what a ladies' room is like, but a guy's room usually has doors on the stall that you can go in and lock behind you, so nobody can see you take a shit.
And mind you, while I'm watching him, like watching the door for him or whatever, like nothing's going on.
Nothing's
so it
going
seems
on.
like
it's kind of a shit. It's a shit club.
yeah,
whatever.
like so, like in my mind, I'm like, this dude's okay. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
really, he doesn't really need me here.
Ryan
He's
goes
okay.
in.
is what I'm
Ryan
thinking.
goes in to drop heat, and Joe's watching the door, and I walk by like, dude, you want to go outside and have a cigarette? He's like, fuck yeah, I do. And we go outside, and then somebody blows the door open. Now this door has no spring, so it doesn't
And
recoil.
the toilet looks
so,
out the door.
So this guy bursts the door open. And Ryan
And-
goes,
and it
hey,
opens-
buddy, occupied. He goes, my bad, dude. Walks away, but the door is still open because it doesn't recoil. There's no
Right.
spring.
Yeah, he does- yeah, he just leaves the door
so
open,
The
like,
bathroom
like-
door is ajar, and there's no stall door to block what you see. And so the only thing you see when you walk past is Ryan sitting there taking a shit. And we're outside, and we can see it. And he goes, hey, guys. And like,
Yeah.
you can see him from 100 yards away.
Like,
and we're like, well, that's embarrassing. Look at that.
I went from comfortable pooping to like lean over like don't look at me, you know. And I had to like
Oh my god.
It was so
Wow.
good. It was so
It's
good.
great. We have a really good picture from that night
That's-
of us in a
that's
golf
hilarious,
cart, though.
but you-
Remember that
you're
picture
never
of in the
gonna
golf
forget that
cart?
Oh, yeah.
There was like a random golf cart outside, and we were on it pretending like it was going.
Was that the same place where the guy was being weird, talking to you guys in the back, and I kept slowly backing away?
That could have been. They were all weird. They were so weird. And we played this show, and everybody hated it. And at the end of the night, I went into the kitchen to get money, and the guy was like, so when do you want to come back?
We don't.
And I was like, well, let me get with the guys, and we'll look at our schedule, and we'll get with you. And I remember writing the this anonymous guy who booked the show with us, and I'm like, what the fuck? This was terrible. Whatever. Only years later to find out it was Bobby Huffman from the Trailer Park Ninjas.
That son of a bitch.
That's who booked you?
Yeah.
He used an assumed name. I think it was Edmondson that put me onto that because I mentioned the name. I was like, oh, we were talking horror stories about gigs, and I mentioned that night. And when I said the name and what entertainment company booked me, he goes, dude, you're fucking with me. That's Bobby, right? And oh my God, I want to punch that guy in the balls. I love him. Bobby, I love you. But I'm going to punch you in the
You
balls
son
someday
of
for the
a
you son
bitch.
of a bitch for that one.
Unreal.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Hey, we made it an hour. We have so much more to talk about.
I know. So this was episode 1. What are we going to call this thing? We never come up with a name.
I like
came
what
up
you
with the
said.
name.
Is this thing on?
Well, I think that should be the episode for sure for the first thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come up with like a good name for the whole series.
Yeah.
We do
Ryan said only flans.
Only flans.
only
Stop,
fans?
stop it. No,
Are we,
no.
are we gonna do more of these?
Oh yeah,
I
there's so much
would
more to
think
talk
so.
about.
You know what-
This
you know
is-
what's
this
funny?
is the first one, yeah.
Is that, and this could be like the next episode or whatever, truly here, is like names too, is like naming like band names. And here we are once again, like struggling with like trying to figure
It's
out this
so
name.
hard.
And it's almost like, it's almost the same, going through the same process of
It is.
naming a band.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's sign out for this one. We're gonna name this fucking thing. By the time you're listening, you'll already see the name because we'll have
Huge
come up with
testicles.
that. But the day we recorded this, we didn't know what to call it, and we will see you soon.
Peace out.
Later. Really? Nice. That's terrible.
Son of a bitch!
I was holding it.
Help me run.
Why?
Yeah, goodbye.
Why? I hate you.